For years, Apple TV has been like a perpetually ignored child, eclipsed by its overachieving siblings, the iPhone and iPad. Design-wise, it hasn't changed at all since 2010, and it's been shackled with one of the most archaic Apple interfaces around, which harkens back to the iPod days. All the while Roku and even Amazon have stepped up their game considerably. Now, with the 4th generation Apple TV, the set-top box that's been deemed merely as a hobby by its parent has finally come into its own. It has more powerful hardware, a significantly redesigned remote and an operating system that's worthy of an Apple product in 2015. And finally, there's a genuine App Store, which turns Apple TV into a legitimate platform for entertainment and gaming in your living room. It isn't quite the future of television that Apple is promising, but it's getting there. Pros. New interface is refined and attractive. Siri remote is a much-needed upgrade. Voice search works well. Solid app and gaming support. Cons. No 4K support. On-screen keyboard is still clumsy. Summary. The new Apple TV offers the most refined streaming interface yet, with a remote that's a step ahead of the competition. Its voice search actually works well, and even at this early stage, there are plenty of worthwhile apps and games. If you need 4K though, look elsewhere. Since it's probably going to be stuck somewhere under your TV, it makes sense why Apple didn't change up the Apple TV's design much. It's still made of black plastic, but it's significantly taller than before, almost like two of the older Apple TVs stacked on top of each other. On the back, there's the obligatory HDMI port, along with Ethernet, USB-C and power ports. Unfortunately, you're out of luck if you're still relying on optical audio cables. The Apple TV relies entirely on HDMI for audio now. That shouldn't be a problem for most people, but if you've got a budget soundbar, or if you haven't upgraded your home theater in the past decade, be ready to pick up an HDMI/optical cable splitter. Apple's A8 chip powers all of the set-top box goodness, and according to developer documents, it's also running 2 GB of RAM. That means it should be an even more powerful device than the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, which have half as much RAM. It's unclear how fast the A8 chip is running in the Apple TV, but it was clocked at 1.4 GHz on the iPhone 6 and 1.5 GHz on the iPad Mini 4. You've got a choice between 32 GB of storage for the $149 model or 64 GB for the $199 model. While it's nice to have a larger storage option, the 32 GB model should be fine for most people, as you'll be streaming most of your content anyway.